Yellow. It's a new day. What am I doing today? I have a couple things lined up I'd like to do. Uh, Fun times from last time. I confirmed that the last paint in my palette was coming on Friday, but I lucked out. It came early and showed up today, so we can go ahead and get that done now. So that would be kind of nice. There's the Mameri Blue. I don't know why. I keep thinking I might have said that Mameri Blue in the past was French. It's not. It's Italian. I looked it up just to make absolutely sure that I wasn't a total idiot. I might have been. So it's Italian. The last one that came is Ultramarine Deep. I don't know how well this will come up, but I will shove it up here so you can see. Blah, blah, blah. Look, it's a paint. It may or may not focus. And yeah, that's it. We're going to put it in this spot right here. Realize I can't see that too well because it is delayed. So let me scooch something over here and do some rearranging on things. Window management in Windows. Okay, so I'm going to do that there. Yeah, and you're going to go there. And then you're going to go there, you silly little thing. And yeah, that should work. And if the mic happens to pick it up, Comet is super excited and full of energy and squeaking on a toy after eating. So don't mind him. Okay, let me grab my pencil. All right, that might be too much, but we'll see. And this is a Mameri Blue MD, and it is Ultramarine Deep. Ultramarine Deep, and my handwriting went stupid terrible today, so we're just gonna go with it. All right, scoot that back over there. Yeah. Oh, hey, in order to paint, we need to have paint in the palette, so let's go get that ready. I'm going to be putting it here. I think I need to scoot the camera over a little bit. There we go. I'm going to be using this blank spot for my palette right here to add my Ultramarine Deep. I already have a French Ultramarine next to it. Kind of looking forward to see how they're different from each other. So we'll see how that goes here in a minute, because the French Ultramarine is right next to where I'm going to be putting this one down today. Also, I realized that so last time I also was painting some of these little space themed Polaroids that I like. That's like my new favorite thing in the world. And while I was making the stars, I started with the toothbrush, which was fine. It was kind of a focused area. And then I went to my other method of using like a smaller brush, flicking onto a larger brush to kind of get some spots. That goes everywhere. Everywhere. And I got some in weird places that I wasn't expecting, but I should have expected. Anything I had sitting leaning up on this back area by the window totally gets on it. And what happened to be there was both this swatch card. So there's spots where I've got some, you probably can't see it on the camera, but there are generally some spots where some white landed, like right there. And a couple other spots down here. It's not a big deal. It's just for me. But it also went on this silly little landscape that I didn't really care for. There's a couple, again, it probably won't focus too well, but there's, oh yeah, right there. There's a couple of spots where you can clearly see where I accidentally flicked some of on there. It's fine. It'll be fine. I mean, who cares? We'll just call it like it's, well, what are those called? Wow, I'm spacing on what it's called. Gosh, I even got some back here. I just noticed on my, this will come off on my light box. It can be like, dandelions. That's it. Yeah, the little white, you blow on them, and the dandelion little things, the seeds kind of float around everywhere. We'll just call them that, and it'll be fine. Realistically, though, I just need to make sure to have anything I care about that I don't want to get paint on out of the way. And everything else, I need to cover it up or find some method in the future to be able to cover things up. Oh, I realize what I'm doing today, I'm going to be needing some scratch paper. So I think I'll keep this and just flip it over. Yeah, I'll keep this out and I'll use that in a bit. Some of the stuff I'll get rid of. But by get rid of, I mean put it away. Yeah. Damn. Let's get this Mary Blue paint out. Fill this guy up a little bit. Okay. Oh, and you know, while I'm at it, my indigo's getting low. Yeah. Oh, that's Joan's fault. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, I can use the rest of this one. That'll probably be fine for now. Just try to use this one up. Okay, I'm sorry. I know. I really need to find a better way to... I'm sorry. I really need to find a better way to store my paper because right now most of it is being held up by the box that my watercolor inks and the higher quality paint pigments are in. And if I were to try to need to lift that up and pull it over here, all the paper is going to fall and it can fold down this way. So I just got to find a smarter way to store it. For now, though, it should be fine. Let me squeeze the indigo up. Oh, you know what? Let me do this thing where you kind of fold it up and make it be its own little squeaky thing to squeeze it up. I hope these tubes don't bend open when you do this. I'm sure they're more sturdy than that. Yes. And yeah, a little more. I don't want to do it so tight that it splits out when I open it. All right, and just move this out of the way for a moment. And put this in this second spot on top of where the rest is. Okay. Okay, come on. Do it carefully. Don't squirt it on yourself. That's no fun for anybody. Okay, it's kind of hard to line that up to do that. One more. Oh, I just realized it is Thursday. Thursday means Severance Day. The last episode of the season 2 is today. And last week it popped up and showed that it was available during my stream. So when I'm done today, we can probably watch it sometime while we're eating or something. Come on, give me more. Is that all it's going to give me? Clearly there's a bunch at the top. How does anyone get that out without causing an absolute nightmare of a mess? Give me my indigo. I use you too much and pay too much. Get out. Okay. I think that's probably as good as I'm going to get. So not too bad. I squeezed the hell out of it, so it should be nearly all in there. And of course, I managed to get some on my hands. I'm going to have to go wash my hands here in a minute, because otherwise I'm just going to be taking indigo with me on into the week. I find out that if I don't get indigo out quickly, my fingertips or the under my nail gets stained really bad for a long time. I need a toothpick. I think actually maybe 2. Let me first get this one down, the ultramarine, and get it down to the corners here so it lays flat better. Alright, that should be fine. Yeah, that fills that pan up nicely. And then the tricky part, get some off of it so I'm not taking a bunch with me. And now I need to do the indigo, try to get it up against the back side of this one and lay out in here and even it out. Yeah, that's not bad. No, that's it good. It'll dry up overnight tonight and it'll be as solid as all the other ones here. And Now I've got a toothpick with paint on both ends, so let me snag a paper towel piece and wrap it up in that so I don't get it everywhere. Alrighty. Into the garbage that guy goes. And I'll be right back. I'm gonna go wash my finger and just get a little bit of that off. Just got a little on my thumb and some thoughts. BRB. I have returned. Okay. All right. Let's go and split this over here. Get my palette over out of the way. All right. So got some clean water as ready from Monday. Monday I ended thinking I'm going to do some sort of like large format something. Didn't get around to it because everything else ran long before that. And I wanted to end because I was tired. I might get to that today, but I've got some other stuff I wanted to look at. So we'll see how I do for time. And if not, I mean, big painting things will always be there for me for whenever. So let's take a look at getting this last swatch done that we wanted to do. So let me lay this out. Excuse me. Thought I had that muted. I did not. Sorry for that explosive throat clear. All right. Let's grab us a brush. Okay. Looking pretty good. Make sure it is clean. All right, Ultramarine Deep, don't disappoint. It is quite wet, so I'll try to get just a tiny bit. Okay. Let's start with that and see if it's dark enough. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's pretty. Go a little tiny bit darker. Yeah, I like that. Right, let's bring it to the right a little. Right. And let's go a little bit more. Yeah, that's a nice one. I liked it. It's definitely got a bit of a more saturated blue than the French ultramarine. French ultramarine is definitely a little darker, so I put it in a good spot here. Yeah, not bad. I'm gonna clean off my brush and then whip out the dryer and dry this really quick. We can get it out of the way. And I'll hold it up so you can see it. Okay, I can reach it. There we go. Okay. Hair dryer action, go. All right. All right. Yeah, after drying, it's definitely got a kind of more saturated, richer blue color. I really like that one. Let's take a look at it a little closer here. Maybe move the light over so you can see it a little bit better. Yeah. This is the one I had already, the French ultramarine. And this is the new ultramarine deep. Both are by Mameri Blue, right? No, I'm wrong. The French ultramarine is Winsor Newton, so they are two different brands. So they're going to be a little bit off from each other anyway. But yeah, no, I definitely like the new one. It's certainly got a cleaner, how do I say it? Like a cleaner. Well, I mean, what I really like using it for is like warp nacelle type stuff for Star Trek, and that's really why I wanted to get that color. That's why I have a totally separate one from Winsor Newton. But the Ultramarine Deep is actually, it tends to go transparent and get a good, nice, rich blue color, whereas the French Ultramarine, it is very much like it shows here. It starts dark, and then when you try to pull it back, it just goes right from dark to a light, and there's not really a pretty shade of blue in between. I wanted something a little more like cerulean, because that's what they claim the coloring is for a warp nacelle. I may look for that in the future and see if I can find one, but this new one is quite nice. I like it. All right, let's move it back here and grab our scratch paper for later. All right, so what else are we doing today? So I have a couple things on my list. Clearly, the stream title kind of gives some of it away. Trees or PCs. I was going to do one or both of either doing some practice trees, some that I've done a few times before, and then trying to do some new ones, and then maybe doing some Googling here and trying to find someone who does it the right way. Don't want to say what I'm doing is the wrong way, but it's the uneducated way. So it's kind of a theme of how I wanted to do a lot of my streams, to try to start with doing things my way from what I've learned and what intuitively feels right to me, and then finding out where I've gone wrong and not really dumping right, and try to learn what a proper process is to do the thing that I'm doing, right? Kind of knock out in one stream my, flub or success sometimes at trying to do a thing, and then trying to learn how to do it more correctly. So that'll be something to do in the future when I find things that are of that genre. I've talked about doing a wheel on here where you can spin it, and like when I have to do the stuff that I'm not really looking forward to doing, like learning certain skills that are just beyond me, that seems to be a good way to force my hand. So I might merge those two ideas into that. But what I was going to do is do some practice trees, a kind that I've done before that I like how they come out. And then I wanted to try to do a sakura or a cherry blossom tree, because we are heading into that season up here where I live in the Pacific Northwest. And I love Japan, and they've got great sakura trees. So kind of want to try to figure that out. The colors will be good to figure, and trying to figure out like perspective on like what perspective do I want to look at a tree? Do I want to stick with the side view, which is probably what I'm going to be doing, or do I want to try to do something 3D? Well, doing things at a better 3D perspective sounds great when you know what you're doing already. But I think to start, just to kind of get the theory down, get the colors down, I'll probably do like a side-on view. So that also will take some research online to confirm from the side perspective, what do they look like? How do I recreate that? Not just play around with that. Some of the other things I want to do, if I do that well, maybe squeeze in one of the Polaroids and make a Polaroid with a sakura tree in it, and maybe just do a very simple kind of blurry background that doesn't really look like anything, but makes you think that there's stuff behind it, and just make it look like a whole scene with a pretty sakura tree in the front. That sounds pretty cool. That aside, the other idea I had is something I've been thinking about for a bit: PC computers, tech, geeky stuff, right? That's where I come from. That's my typical like job field for what I do, and it's what I do full time. But my thought is how to make that merge with my joy of painting. No pun / trademark theft intended, but joy of painting. My thoughts are, like, there's a wide variety of things you can do tech in painting to make something look cool and painted. I was thinking one option is doing like an isometric view. That's where you're looking down at something on an angle from the side and an angle from above, so that it looks kind of like if you're looking at a cube, you're looking at the point on a cube. I guess I didn't really have anything else in front of me that you can do that with, but I have this eraser, right? So I think orthographic is what they call it when it's like straight on. I don't have all these names looked up. I'm going entirely off memory, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I think orthographic is when you're looking at something straight on, like a blueprint, that sort of thing. Then when you want to do isometric, it is not just turned, so not orthographic on this end or this end. It's halfway, and then you tilt down halfway. So you're getting like that diamond look, right? So there's loads of images and things you can do. There's even games that are designed to be like that view. And that's kind of what I was wanting to look for, and making like a 3D computers and cases and monitors sitting on top of the old case from like 80s and 90s era, and put them in a view where they're like on a desk or something, or just floating in space, and try to get varying degrees of accuracy of like how close or how far you are from the machine. Depends on how accurate it's going to look. Obviously, starting out, make it kind of in the middle or low fidelity, just to get the idea down on paper. So I thought that was a neat thing, and it doesn't have to be just computers. It can be peripheral, like printers and computer mice and keyboards, and any variety of techie geeky thing that you can paint. That is kind of something you don't normally see. You normally see images, right? But seeing actual like artwork of the actual hardware sounds pretty cool. On the flip side of that, I was thinking, what about showing software, right? And one of the things I always wanted to do, I wanted to do when I started streaming this is I wanted to, on the regular, do like operating system backgrounds and like whatever apps and things that you've got up on top of them, right? Obviously starting small because it's complicated as hell. But I was thinking starting simple with older operating systems that were simple. I don't know how I want to go as far back as like Windows 3.1, because they didn't really have background images. They had patterns, and that repetitive, weird, specific patterns sounds terrible. especially to replicate in Paint. But to do things like the Windows 95 clouds background, well, clouds are easy. It was literally just the blue and the white, right? So creating like an old Windows desktop that was that cloud background, or even that completely solid, opaque, turquoisey green color, that was the default Windows background color for solid color. And then putting icons and maybe like MS Paint or Notepad or WordPad or whatever came with the operating system I'm painting, and the start menu, the start bar on the bottom, taskbar, and trying to recreate like what that looks like. Obviously, I don't care one lick about getting text because I'm not going to paint text. I'm telling you now, it's not going to happen. I'll fake it. I'll do like a little squiggly line. It'll be like Simish, whatever the language is in The Sims. It's going to be fakey BS. It's going to be Elvish script for all intents and purposes, right? Except for maybe the obvious word like start when it says that, right? Or if there's something that's really iconic, like the name of the application, Paint or something, right? But for the most part, like small icons that'll look like, hey, it might have said my computer if you squint. That's what I'm looking for. Not perfection, but like halfway. But I want to replicate like what would it look like to see like a full like 4:3 when it was like the standard monitor size, and cutting paper down to be exactly 4:3 ratio and fitting it into that view, maybe putting like the bezel of a computer monitor and having the background or the desktop screen within it. Like if you looked at the painting, or you could put that frame of the painting up against the computer monitor of the era, it might look like, wow, you've got the computer running and it's got a painted version of what I would see if it was up. It's geeky, but that kind of thing. And clearly you can go through any operating system, Mac OS, Linux, phone operating systems if you wanted to go that wacky with it, Android, but mostly the versions of Windows, and then just very specific but iconic looking applications that have like large, like bigger features, right? If it's got a bunch of very tiny features that just disappear, it's going to be incredibly hard for me to be able to line them up and make them look good, at least at first. So yeah, it's kind of my idea, trying to get like the Windows desktops. Sometimes might be just iconic desktop backgrounds without any of the stuff, and none of the user interface, just recreating Bliss, for example, the Windows XP pretty green field and blue sky background, right? It's called Bliss. That's one of the things I was thinking of trying to recreate. So whether I do that today or not, who the hell knows? I'm not going to go that far, I don't think. But some tiny things I might, right? And just work my way up to it. So I might do trees. I might do PCs. I might do a little bit of both. Maybe, no, I never do the two of them at the same time, like, you know, a computer and a tree. That's stupid. Why would you do that? But whatever, right? So I'm just going to play around. So let me line some stuff up. Wow, this sounded terrible. I haven't moved this for a while, and the armature like moved, and it must have been like pretty solidly in there because it cracked. It didn't do any damage, I don't think. It just made noise. All right, let me snag some coffee real quick. Okay. All right. Well, trees. So I don't need to test colors with that, so I'll save that for later. That's more when I'm trying to like color match something from Windows, when I need to do that. But I think, let me find some paper for doing my tree exercises on. Maybe I'll find that. Oh, I always forget I've got this black watercolor paper. I've only used it once, and I want to use this, but it's going to be so incredibly difficult with watercolor because watercolor is meant to be done on white paper so that the vibrancy and brightness shines through. You have to add your own brightness here, and I totally got it. And it weirdly says that it's meant to be watercolor paper. And you can, and I think it's meant for gouache more than anything because it's more opaque. But yeah, it clearly shows on it right there, watercolor, right? So, I mean, I may have to look that up online and see how are you supposed to watercolor on black and it ever show up like anything, right? And maybe that's half the problem. It needs to look like it's disappearing on the paper, but this is solid black paper. So it'll be very peculiar to do. I have done one thing on it before, when I first wanted to test it. I mainly used the metallic set that I've got and blended the metallic, like the silver glittery metallic with different colors to give it anything. And I did like a little basic like galaxy kind of thing, a spiral. And I can do that, but yeah, I think eventually I need to invest in some like a basic gouache paint set, which is just more opaque watercolors, and then figure that out. That's a in the future. Let's get beyond like where I am today by a degree before I look at that. I mean, I spend enough money on this little hobby of mine. I don't want to blow our entire budget on a bunch of BS that I may rarely use for a while. But eventually, when it becomes a need, I'll look at it. It's not a need right now. So, but I do like this paper. I want to try it out. Let's see what else we got. Well, I want it to look good, so I can't use that one. That is really a good paper. So I do have my Arches paper, but this is my last pad of it. I've only barely started using it, and I'm trying to preserve it. I only got, I mean, probably 11 sheets, because I think I used one from this. And I want to preserve it for when I want to do something that I'm really focused on doing well, like I've stenciled or sketched something really critical out on it and have like a true design in mind for it, because this is my best paper. So I think, because I love the texture on this. Subtle, but randomized, which I like. When it's not randomized, it's pretty much patterned and it pops up off the paper. The pigment makes it look exactly like you imagine it does. All right, let's put this away and find the next one down from there. Which, unironically, is this. Let's grab that. Loud. All right. Hang on. Okay. And let's whip out our paper cutter. Whoa, I'm getting real close to the mic. Hi. Nice to meet you. Okay. Let's. Don't ever change, Bear. Don't ever change. All right. I'm gonna go. I'm not measuring this to go inside of a frame or anything. I'm just doing it to trim the hanging Chad part of this off. Yeah. And the garbage just happens to be right next to me, so I don't have to fight with it. All right. All right. So, trees, huh? So my experience with painting trees is Jenna Rainey. She does florals and organic things like a lot, and she is just incredible at it. Entirely self-taught from what I think I remember from her channel on YouTube. But brilliant, like incredibly good, to the point where she's been doing it, I don't remember, like 10 plus years or more. And she's like selling her art in big box stores on products, right? So it's one of those, like, she sold her designs and patterns and other people are reselling it for her and she's getting money from it. It might be a little, it might be a lot, it might be in the middle. That's not the point. Point is, some of her videos are, a good majority of them are tutorials, right? And one of the methods of painting trees that I saw that she did that I really liked was doing the like horticultured trees, the ones that have been like trimmed to be in a particular shape in a way. And you'll see what I mean when I do a couple of them, but they're basically a couple of spheres, one on top, two underneath it and the next row, and then three underneath it on the final row. And you paint them in with a lighter color. You darken with midtones in whatever direction the shadow is going to be and do like a half crescent kind of deal with that and make it look like the sun's coming down from one side or the other or above. And then the final amount is doing a darker, as dark as you can get it for the shadowy bit on a thinner crescent on the far end of where the shadow side is. Make your trunk and any branches. And then she does this cool little like swash effect where she just wets her brush and goes across the base of the tree to kind of grab some of the paint from the base of the trunk and turns it into basically like the ground. It looks really cool. I got some of them on my Instagram, which I suppose I can show really quick. Excuse me, man. My throat, I'm telling you. One of these days, I should be drinking water and not coffee, especially when I'm going to be streaming, right? So here is my Instagram. If you've never been there before, please feel free to give it a visit and just check out anything I paint, even off stream, which is less common nowadays. But I imagine in order to have any sort of content, you don't see me doing air quotes, but content for Twitch, I am just doing everything that I do on Twitch, I post on here. Anyway, if we go way far back in time, yeah, here's some trees. I love this method of doing trees and then just doing like a randomness and random shapes. So that's kind of what I was going to do today. A little bit more practice of doing this. I hate how it goes back to the top of the page. How silly is that? Oh, here's a couple more. I mean, they're not the best, but they're cute. I like them. So that's kind of what I was going to do, at least to start with. And then I want to try to do some like Sakura type. So I'm going to do some Googling on that here in a bit. But let's warm up by doing the types like I just showed there. And got some cafe. Coffee. All right. Let's spritz our palette down with a little bit of water. I need to equal that? No, I've got loads in there. Realize in my palette, and one thing I don't have are browns, but I mean, you kind of make your own. Which I will. I think in the moment I'll learn to properly do some color mixing and make my own browns and tree trunk colors. Worst case, I've got black, so I can always do gray tone ones with some different colors added in. And I've got that dragon's blood, which is like almost brown. I mean, in some aspects, it won't take much mixing to add something to that to make a brown color. And then just do it kind of thin for the tree trunk. So that's kind of cool. Let's take a look. Okay, so top left, start there. What kind of color tree do I want? I guess I can start with the obvious. You know, I just realized my palette is full of old paint stuff that was green, and I just used up all of my mixing well area with that. So I think maybe perhaps I will clean it really quick. Let me, okay. No? Yep, that's totally inaccessible. Let me make sure I'm not going to run over any dog action. Nope. Okay. Okay, there we go. And, you know, a lot of people like to keep a dirty palette and just kind of build on top of it. Ironically, Jenna Rainey seems to be one of those people. I will to a degree, but I think there's going to be times where I just can't make myself do that. And I spread out a lot last time. I think having an external, I'm calling it external, that might not be the right word for it, but an external separate palette that I keep clean, that's small and easy to access, just so I can do some basic color mixing for what I'm going to work on that day, and that I can truly take those to the sink and fully wash them properly. I may look for something like that later on, just saying dirt cheap ceramic, like 5, 6 little tiny little cubbies in it. I have a great big huge separate palette for mixing over here, but it's just that huge. It's bigger than I think it looked on Amazon, so it's big. It is somewhere back there, somewhere. Yeah, I think I've got it buried under something, but I'll look for it later. But yeah, I'm gonna find something a little smaller. And for now, I'm gonna use what I've got here. Obviously, not the end of my world. Wait. Let me. This one. Also, I irritatingly, for my own awareness and need, I do this stupid thing where I drop a little bit inside of one of the clean wells where I'm going to eventually be putting some kind of new paint, and it just bugs me. So I'll try to get some of that out too. All right. Yeah. Enough. Okay. That one too. Not bad. Not going for full perfection, just as clean as I can get it without being silly about it. This one I think I'll keep. This one though, I've taken away like all my yellows, so I'm gonna clean this one out. And I think the only thing, because this palette's actually really good, I really like it. The only thing I don't really like about it is the top well up here. I understand 100% why it's there like this, but it's meant to be held, which is good for almost everything except for watercolor painting, I think. Because watercolor painting is runny more than anything. And being able to finish this up while I'm trying to multitask, talking and wiping. Don't talk while you wipe, people. It's got this thumb hole for you to. Sorry, let me throw this out. It's got this, of course, I got some on my fingertip. Stop it. Go away. It's got this thumb hole for you to hold this like this, so that you can do the things you're going to do with it, right? And hold it and work, which is fine if you're standing up to paint or you're at an easel, I'm sure. Clearly I'm not that kind of guy. I use my palette flat. In addition to that, it's also got these holes for different size brushes, which I think is for cleaning. Makes the most sense for me, because it's empty underneath. So I clearly imagine that you're meant to like wing your brush around in some water and then like run it through there to help dry it if you don't have like paper towels or a towel near you. Never really looked that up. It might be, it might not be. But it makes it really difficult to use this entire well area for mixing because of all of the holes and the obvious gap here, because anything I do is going to just wash over and out and underneath it. So I lose this whole entire mixing well. These two are right next to where all of my paints are over here. So I kind of failed myself here by putting them all next to each other. So I have to spread out and use this whole section over here for stuff that's across the palette from it. So that's why it's just going to get messy sometimes. I'm going to have to play with it, but it'll be fine. Let me scoot this up. Move my palette over. And let's make a couple of trees, right? Okay. So I'm thinking if we're going like standard like spring tree, they're lighter in color because they're just kind of getting started and growing. I'm thinking after the blooming phase where it might be like red or something and then all of a sudden it becomes green leaves somehow because of magic, nature magic. Uh, so I'm going to go yellow to start, I think. Y'all. Right. And just so I can see what I'm doing here, this is from my the Mary Blue set. This is primary yellow. I'm just gonna do a decent amount of it, and I'm just gonna start. I'll ask for something over here. Start with a little circle up here near the top, and then another one underneath it in the second row, and another one over here. I'm just gonna let it kind of run out of pigment. I'm not gonna re-wet it. Just let it do as much as I can get. Maybe pick some up from the top one. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just rough circle for me. All right. And then next up, I'm going to rinse that. And I'm going to grab a little of whatever green I choose and mix it into the right of that yellow so I can bring some in. There. Get a little bit too green. And you see I'm already taking up a second palette, a second mixing well with green. It's just, I have to have it. You grab some more of that yellow. And hopefully this is still a little wet. And I'm gonna, I usually go shadows on the left side, but let's go shadows on the right side today. I'm just gonna add some in right here. And I'm gonna go along this section, like it's his own little like bowie like circular area. That's the top left of it is where the sun's coming from. I grab some of this again and bring that in over here and then over here. All right. And let's go darker. And let's go down here. All right. And down in here a little. That one's a little easy. Me dry that off a little bit. Just kind of scribbling a little bit. Right. And I think actually I need to bring this down a little bit right there. Yep. And knock down my headphones on one side. Good. All right. Let's look for something trunk-like. I All right. That is very dark. I'm going to thin it out a little. And I'm just going to go right down the middle here. Okay. And maybe up a little bit into this. And some little guy over here. And from there, let's go dark, dark, dark. Good. And I'm going to go down, since the shade is on the right, I'm going to go down the right side of the trunk. And then along some of the branches. Yep. And I'm going to wash out my brush. And keeping it kind of half wet, I'm just going to go from left to right. Right. And I think it's spread quite a lot in here. I'm going to pick up some of this, I think. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, so I'm clearly not the best tree in the world, but still a little wet. But yeah, it's just a little tiny tree. Just the basics. Let's do some more. Get more into the swing of things. Let's I'm actually gonna pick the green I already made for the midtones on the first tree. Right. And let's go right for our previous dark. Go same direction. Make that little crescent happen. And let's go really dark. All right. Make that dried a little bit right there. And blend that back in between the yellow and the green. All right. Trunk, huh? Let's go black. That's a nice murky color. Same deal. Let's go along the right edge. Yeah. Wow, those branches really went super dark in there, but hey, I'm practicing. That's what it's there for. All right, let's go for another color. Right. Let's start yellow again. Like a really vibrant yellow. Okay. And this time for fun, let's go an orange. It has a little bit of red in there. Right. And let's go from this side this time. I get a little scribbly in there a little bit. All right. And then let's go Dragon's Blood. That's a nice one. Dragon's Blood makes the trees really nice. I like that. Uh, and let's go dark again. Go right to black. And this time we're going to go along the left side. I didn't really go too dark, did it? Yeah, that was nice. Think I missed a spot there. Is there any of this I can snag? Nope. Yeah, that was nice. Still a drawing, but yeah, that's a nice. Yeah, it's not running. That's a nice fall tree. That kind, the top right. Came out really nice. I quite like it. Uh, let's do one more of that style, but I kind of like that you got like a wild color combo that wouldn't like exist on Earth. Because, there was only certain color that things can grow. But let's try. Oh, let me try my thought I was talking about with the Sakura. Not done that yet. All right. So Sakura, white, pinks. Whites, pinks, kind of almost kind of magenta-y pink, but not really. I'm thinking. So I'm going to start with the really light stuff and just kind of play. And it's just going to be really faint looking. Let me zoom in. Okay. Right, and let's grab a couple darker, reddish area. You dry that off a little. All right. Maybe a hit of the magenta kind of color. Trying not to do what I usually do, trying not to cover up what I put on there too badly. All right, maybe a touch right there. All right. And I'm guessing maybe we go like a grayish color for the trunk. Yeah. That's way darker than I wanted. Yep, that is a weird random thing. We're just gonna go with it. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's pinky. It's aspects of it that I like. Clearly, I messed up with that over there trying to fix it. It would have been better off left alone. Or I could have, been smart and used a thinner brush. I needed to do some more fine work with branches, and I shouldn't have been trying to fight with a brush that was too big. So that's on me. Next time, do better. Um, so I guess the question is what? Let me get my phone. What would a sakura tree painted actually look like? So, oh, so many kinds. I mean, just look at that. Just a wide variety, right? Oh, so we can make it anything because I guess there's like a ton of varieties of sakura trees. So what could we do? That one looks kind of nice. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. It's not too radically far off from what I already did, right? I mean, it's fairly close. I mean, if we want to pick any tree out of a lineup, I mean, Mr. Officer or Detective, it's that one. It's him. I mean, it's pretty darn close to it. So I can try to recreate that one a little bit more accurately with more detail because the blobbies, the leafy areas are kind of big and chunky. So I might use my smaller brush for all of it, even the leaves, and try to make something kind of like that. So let's give that one a whirl. How long that will stay on, but I'll keep it up. Drink some coffee. Mhm. Right. My friend. Ah. going to my old habits and sticking to an angle, and it's showing up. So I gotta hit it from a different direction. I'm not talking a lot, just kind of focused on being stupid. I'm good at that. But it was a bit much. Hey. Too much. A little bit too much. You know what brings you with that? We call that particular corner a loss. Just gonna go a little nuts with it. And do another one a little over here. And just say that there's a couple spots where it is just thick with leaves and call it that. All right. I did not see. I think the yeah, it was the branches were really dark on this, so I can get away with some dark branches. So let's do that. Right, so first step, let's go. Yeah, thinner was the way to go with the brush. It looks like it tends to spread out really close to the bottom of the tree line, so I went way too low with that one. So the rest of them, I think, I'm going to keep them kind of shallow. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. I kind of like how that one came out way more than this one. Thinner brush for the win on that one. That one definitely is far prettier acro tree than the one on the left. Clearly there's mistakes, but I mean, it's me we're talking about. There's going to be mistakes. It's nice. So I like that. That one came out actually. Happy little accident. All right. One more. Let's go wild. I don't know if it's going to look like a tree, but I'm just going to go totally brainless as if I wasn't already doing that. Let's go. Oh, you know what? Let's use. Hey, now. Let's use. Our brand new Ultramarine Deep. Let's just do. Oh, that's a little too dark. Let's thin that out a little and just do some weird shit and just see what it does. Yep, by going wild and crazy, it came out wild and crazy. Exactly the way you think it would. Looks more like a really random flower than it does a tree, but we'll go with it. Yep. I think when you go hog wild, you either get great things or you get hot garbage. Could have been hot garbage, but you know what? I'm going with it. In fact, I'm just gonna thin it out even more with just plain old water and just go absolutely batshit with it. Whoops. Startled me for a second. And Recovered. I mean, it's blue, but you know what it is? Random. Somehow got some water here that was just water. Spread that out a little. Yeah. Clearly, I'll come back to this piece of paper in the future and try to put some other little bits in there. But hey, I mean, for a random bullshit bluish greenish tree, I mean, not too shabby. I guess I just have to look random and have shadows where there need to be shadows and some branches poking through, and anything can be a tree. They're organic. They can look like whatever they want, I suppose. Yeah, sure. I'll take it. All right. Well, it's already getting kind of late, so I should at least shift gears if I'm going to do anything of the PC side that I was looking at. Let me scoot this guy to the side here. Let him hang out so he can dry. Zoom out a little. This is entirely experimental, so let me grab some of the cheaper paper. One Piece? Are you the One Piece? I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. Oh, all right. And did I get some glue? I did. There's a little bit of that glue on the edge there. Off. Off. Oh, come the hell on. Off. Okay, whatever. It doesn't need to be perfect. Well, I guess going by memory? Is that what we're gonna do? Something PC related, or I can go by memory. Or should I look up something and kind of fake it to make it, huh? Well, if I were to do anything computer related, what is the simplest thing I can get away with? Maybe a computer monitor? Yeah? It's not too bad. It's mostly a cube, right? CRT computer monitor. Okay, let's see if we can find any images of one in the angle that I'm looking for, so I can get something to kind of run off of. Yeah, you know, that's not too shabby. It's not as angled as I like. Let me see if there's any others on here. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to the one I just saw. Oh yeah, that one's kind of nice. I don't need anything on the screen in this one. I'm just going to go black, but it's kind of the angle I'm looking for, right? Isometric, so it's looking down from the side and from above at the same angles. So not quite this, but close to it. I can work with that. I think, if anything, I am going to just blindly eyeball sketch this and just kind of fake one. It's not going to be the whole page, it's just going to be a corner, so let me just fake it really quick. So we have ourselves something here, and then something. Yeah. Yo, around here-ish, and then curve it back around in the same way, and then give us a outward bend a little bit. Alright, and you go back over, yeah, and you're gonna go straight down, because isometric stuff always has vertical lines in it. Okay, and straight down from here. All right, and then straight down from here. And then across from here, kind of parallel to what I was doing up there. Alright. and something on the inside for the screen portion. Something very abstract. And then back down here. Okay, and then we've got ourselves a little like a bezel down below. And then a little bit of our circular stain underneath. Okay. And then from here, we're going to hit the back of it. And I think I'm going to add a little swoopage. Kind of do something back here a little. And then again, try to get that vertical. Ooh. That was a noise. I did not like that. What is that? Ooh. I don't know if you can hear it. It might be just from my mic, but let me change to just some different music that might be a little more powerful. Cover this up a little. Yep. All right, that was weird. Carrying on. I just realized this is not fully at the angle I was looking for, so yeah, this is some BS. We're just gonna run with it. Ooh, look, the back of a monitor. Ooh, look, it's gonna come out over here. It's gonna connect. Oh, look, it's a monitor. Maybe something's down here. Yeah, clearly not fully the way I'd want it to be, but let's just wing it. This doesn't look good. Well, that's just me. I can't draw. With time and effort and like tracing, I could probably fake it, but I'm just kind of doing it just to get an idea. So let's just see what we can do. Maybe we can recover it with the power of paint. Right, so we've got... Right, I'm gonna go beige. And we go a tiny bit on here. All right, and let's go a little darker. Okay. And then let's do this with some black. Get this frame of it with some color. Okay. Clearly, I'm not going to put anything on the screen other than an off spring. But let's get it going.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I somehow set off the Alexa. Whoa, I should have let that dry. I didn't plan that at all. Well, you live and learn, folks. That's what happens when you don't let your paint dry. It bled right into it. But that is because I didn't think about it. I was just gung-ho about it. Lost any definition that we got out of it. Salvageable, maybe. Let me see. Don't want to mess with it too much because this paper really falls apart if you... This cheaper paper just kind of falls apart. So I think what I can do is just even this front out as much as I can. Pull up what I can from it without going nuts. And then darken the middle, and it should probably cover it up. All right. And now, perhaps, I can even this section out over here because they've spread into that too. I really did good. I did a number. All right. Be smart about this and give it just a hot second under the hair dryer. Yeah, it's not bad. That worked, pulling some of that back, I think. I don't even necessarily need to darken it, but I'm going to do just a tiny bit. Man. I need to learn sometimes to be a little bit more methodical. This song's kind of funky. I like it. Right. And in typical fashion, I went overboard. Let me see if I can bring this back in at all. It's like the screen is trying to like escape the monitor. Do as I want, not as I do. Yeah, well, it's just going to be what it is, I think. Ultimately, it's a thing. Not quite the proportions I needed it to be, but not too bad. Especially for a first attempt, right? So I'm not upset with it. Everything's learning, right? So that's kind of the idea I was thinking. Not perfect, clearly, but I'll need to like whip out a ruler when I want to do this the right way and get like all the measurements even and get the perspective right. But I want to try to paint some stuff at that kind of above and at the corner of it, 45 degree angle, 45 down, 45 from the side, either facing to the left or facing to the right, doesn't matter, but get some sort of pattern going and then just paint computer stuff. So like I can do the computer tower underneath it and do it at an angle and have it sitting on top of it and then cast a shadow from the monitor underneath it. I can do the keyboard in front. I could do the mouse on the side. I could do floppy drives, printers, just build a whole scene and then paint in like a table underneath it when I'm done and have like a little isometric like computer desk with all the parts and everything on it, right? Clearly better than this, but the idea is what was kind of like that, right? The other bit, I can do a real fakey job on what I'm talking about. So let's just assume we've got ourselves, I will use a ruler for this just to give myself some guidelines. So 4x3 for an old monitor is literally, that's not a pencil, 4 inches. Wait, is it 4 inches wide or 4 inches tall? 4 inches wide. Yeah. Right? Now I have to look it up because I feel like an idiot. Let's see. Yeah, wide. I'm just looking at one right here. It's literally, it's 4 wide and then 3 narrow, right? So, okay. All right, so we're looking into 4 inches across. All right. And we're going to do 3 inches down to make sure it's somewhat even. And then 3 inches down on this side. Hopefully I'm somewhat even with it. Not going for perfection, just getting it down. And then 3 across. or 4 across. Yeah, I think we did pretty fairly good. I'm sitting here on top of a brush wondering why is it not going all the way to the paper? Yeah. All right. So something kind of like that. Start menu. I mean, I'm just. Ugh. Why don't these things get like automatically banned? I'm so tired of seeing the spam accounts. All right. And let's presume I've got a start menu on here, which from the area is probably close to like around like there. Okay. And then the rest of it's not really important, but something kind of like that, right? I mean, you can barely see it because it's faint and far away, but something like that for like 4x3 for like a Windows 98, 95 XP. I said that the year is all out of order, but kind of like getting like that kind of focus. 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 There we go. Something kind of like that, where you've got like a start menu on the bottom or top, wherever it might be, the dock, whatever. Get some icons on the desktop and just kind of go crazy, right? So I can do like, you know, a little baby in my computer and just do like a little boop, 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 and just do like a ooh, your computer, and be like, you know, right, right, and then like the recycle bin can be the same kind of shape, and it can be just be a little angled guy with like the little like swoosh, swoosh, swoosh thing, and it's like recycle bin. Like it doesn't have to be like real icons, at least especially at this scale. It's so small you can't read it anyway, so why would I make it that fine? If it was full like paper, different story, right? I can afford to put some text in there maybe with like pen when I'm done, but to start with it's just squiggles, right? And then I don't know what the start menu is that I'm looking at, but if I were to do it, it would just be like a little like, that's garbage, but do like a little swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Just faking it. Start, right? If I wanted a program window on there, I could do like, you know, you can get myself a little it's slightly parallelogram would be fine. Right, and then up here in the corner we'll do the title bar. Title bar is always much narrower than the start bar, right? Okay, and there's like a little, like, you know, little bloop right there, and then there's a little X, and then the maximize, and then the little minimize underline. It would just be like note pad, right? And it can be like squiggle from squiggle, 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 squiggle. And, you know, just like a bunch of garbage on the screen, just to kind of fake it, right? Right? So it's totally phony, just like a fakey little desktop screen, and then we fill it in, right? So, and it doesn't have to be perfect because this is just a demo for what I'm talking about here, but I can do what? So let's just assume this is white background. Let's do I think we want the new one. Yeah, that's a different shade. That is so probably the Prussian blue is actually the most like it looks like. And actually, what I need to do is wet it. So I'm just gonna do water. So let me. This is a glasses up moment, people. All right, so let's. All right, grab some of that blue we worked on over here. And then pick some spots and bring some back. Had to get some Windows 95 cloud background vibes, right? Clearly nothing perfect. Okay. Let's call that cloudy. And I think we'll go very faint gray. Excuse me. He's I try to remember the Microsoft colors all at once. No. Do they even still use them in Windows anymore? No, it's like blue. So I'm just gotta fake it. I don't feel like looking it up online. I'm just doing it for funsies anyway. Good enough. Probably all we need to do. Yeah. I mean, clearly it's simple. It's not like the full effect that I want to do, but kind of like that. Clearly nothing crazy. I mean, clearly this is simple as hell, but just getting the idea of doing like a basic Windows background and recreating the start menu and all that, and being tiny, I can't really do too fine detail, but I mean, imagine that I could do 4 of them like in each corner of this and show 4 different iterations of the startup of when you first log into Windows on 4 different types or something. It'd be kind of interesting to see that in one painting, I think. So that's kind of the idea I was going for. I think we have done enough today. We have ourselves our new Ultramarine Deep that came today. A brighter shade of blue than the French Ultramarine underneath it. Kind of nice. I used a little bit of it on this tree down here. We did some trees. Some good, some blue. I kind of like how the Sakura cherry tree ones came in the middle. Mainly the one on the right. And then my rando blue-green tree. And then the beginning of some computery stuff. Kind of wanted to go through and do like 3D renditions or 3D models of computer parts from the mid-late 80s, 90s, early 2000s era. Whatever makes sense, whatever I feel like. It might be a Gateway laptop one day, it might be a Microsoft mouse, another optical one with a little red laser light. I mean, it could be anything, right? Just going through, because there's so many things out there I can replicate, or try to anyway. Clearly with better perspective, I squashed the hell out of that monitor. It's squishy. You can just go, look at you, you're so cute and squish. Yeah, I kind of did that to it by accident, but hey, I was just kind of experimenting. But yeah, that's what I'm going with. And you know, even with the computer stuff, I may go through and try to replicate like what Microsoft and other operating system colors are for like a known thing that's a very particular color, and maybe we'll practice with color matching and try to play with it and see if I can get the exact colors of things. Sometimes it won't fully translate to you. I'll see it, and maybe when I take pictures and put it on Instagram, it might look good there, but I think on camera I can only get so color accurate before I start going crazy. Anyway, that's enough yakking. I think that's going to be it for me for tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have a great day. See you later. Watch Severance.